The sky was dark. Rain fell heavily over the metal roofs of Colony 9. Wind howled through the empty streets. Most people were already inside. It was cold. It was quiet, but outside the guard station, someone stood still. Sergeant Leon Hayes looked through the camera screen. A small figure was standing at his front gate. It wasn't human. Another one? He muttered. He opened the speaker. Step away from the gate. This is a restricted zone. No reply. The figure stepped closer. The lights flickered. Now he could see it was a child. Thin arms, large black eyes. Wet clothes stuck to her skin. She looked maybe 10 years old. But her skin was pale blue. She was not from Earth. Please. The child said, voice shaking. My mom can cook, clean, and obey. Just give us shelter. Leon's finger hovered over the alarm button. He had been trained for this. Protocol was simple. Report all alien contact immediately. Do not engage. Do not trust. He remembered the words clearly, but something about her voice made him stop. She didn't sound dangerous. She sounded scared. He grabbed his coat and stepped outside, his boots splashing through the mud. Rain hit his face like needles. The girl didn't move as he approached. She just looked up at him, big eyes full of water and fear. Where's your mother? He asked. The girl pointed behind her. A tall, thin woman stood under a broken shelter across the street. Her hands were folded. Her eyes looked down. She didn't speak. They said no one survived after Earth burned, Leon said quietly. But you don't look like soldiers, the child spoke again. We're not soldiers. We ran, we hid, we're tired. Leon stared at her. His hand rested near his weapon. Every part of his training screamed at him, turn them in. There. A threat. But he didn't. Instead, he looked around. No cameras. No patrols. No one had seen them yet. Follow me, he said. The child's face lit up. The mother gave a small nod and followed. Silent. Careful. Inside the station, it was warm. The girl sat on the floor, near the heater. Her thin arms hugged her knees. The mother stood in the corner, saying nothing. Leon poured water into a cup and handed it to the child. What's your name? He asked. Lena, she whispered. He looked at the mother. And you? She answered slowly. Tara, I don't mean harm. We only need a place for one night. One night turns into 2, Leon said. Then someone finds out. Then I'm out of a job, or worse. Tara didn't argue. She just lowered her eyes. I'm not asking for your trust, she said. I'm only asking for your mercy. Leon sighed. He walked to the window and looked out at the dark road. Memories hit him. His wife's face. His little girl's laugh. Both gone now. Gone with Earth. Gone in fire. He turned back to them. Said you can cook? He asked. Tara nodded. Clean? Yes. And obey? She hesitated, then said, If it keeps my daughter safe, I will obey. Leon looked at Lena. She was already asleep, curled up near the heater. All right, he said. Just one night. You'll stay in the storage room. No noise, no trouble. No one knows. Tara bowed her head. Thank you. That night, Leon couldn't sleep. He lay on his cot, staring at the ceiling. The rain had stopped, but the wind still whispered. His door creaked. He sat up quickly, reaching for his weapon. But it was just Tara. She stood in the hallway, her eyes calm. I wanted to say thank you, she said quietly. Leon frowned. You shouldn't be out here. She stepped back. I'm sorry. As she turned, he asked, Why me? Why come to my station? She paused, then said, Because you looked lonely. And with that, she walked back into the dark. Leon sat there, stunned. He hadn't told anyone how he felt, not in months. Maybe not since the war ended. How did she know? He looked toward the hallway. Aliens weren't supposed to feel. That's what they were told. That's what he believed. But maybe they were wrong. Maybe she wasn't a threat. maybe. She was just a mother, trying to save her child. Outside, the wind carried whispers. Far above, a drone flew silently through the clouds. And deep in the city's network, an alert blinked red. Unregistered alien energy detected, Sector 4B*. The smell of food woke him up. Leon opened one eye, confused. He never cooked breakfast, he barely ate it, but now, something warm drifted through the air. It smelled like herbs, butter, and something he hadn't smelled in years home. He stood up slowly, reached for his gun out of habit, then stopped. Himself, they were still here. Quietly he walked into the kitchen. Tara was standing near the stove. She moved like a shadow, graceful, silent, almost floating. She was cooking something with the few ingredients he had. His kitchen was a mess the night before, now it was clean. Cleaner than ever. The child Lena was wiping the floor with a cloth, her small hands red from the cold water. Leon stood in the doorway and watched. He should have felt in control. This was his house, his rules, his planet, but something felt different now, like he was the guest. He cleared his throat. Both turned quickly. "I didn't ask you to do this," he said. Tara nodded. "We know, but we must earn our place. This isn't a hotel." "No," she said. "It's a home for us, for now." Leon didn't reply. He sat down slowly. Tara placed a plate in front of him. Warm, soft bread. A vegetable stew. Nothing fancy, but made with care. He stared at it for a moment, then picked up the spoon. It tasted better than anything he had eaten in months. Later, Tara returned to the storage room. Lena followed her quietly. Leon stood by the door and watched them disappear into the shadows. He didn't know what to feel. Pity? Guilt? Fear? They were still aliens, and if anyone found out he was hiding them, he'd be in prison. Or worse. That afternoon, he went to work as usual. He ran the checkpoint, scanned IDs, ignored small talk, but his mind was somewhere else. Every face he saw could be a threat. What if someone had seen the girl? What if they knew? He returned home earlier than usual, walking fast, heart beating hard. As he opened the door, he expected disaster, but instead, silence. The floor was clean. The dishes were washed. His old jacket was stitched where it had torn months ago. He found a small note on the table. "We used only what you allowed. We touched nothing else. Thank you. T." He stared at the paper for a long time. No one had written him a note in years. That night, he sat by the fire with Lena. She didn't talk much, but she smiled when he handed her a blanket. "Do you miss your home?" he asked. She nodded. "What was it like?" She looked up at the ceiling, thinking. Blue trees. Big sky. We had music. My dad made music. Leon looked down. "What happened to him?" She was quiet for a long time, then said, "Humans came. He didn't fight, but they didn't care." Leon's stomach turned. He wanted to say not all humans, or it wasn't me, but the words felt small and fake. So he stayed quiet. Lena pulled the blanket tighter around her shoulders. "Mom says we are not allowed to hate." "Why not?" he asked. "Because hate makes us like them." Leon didn't know what to say. He just stared at the fire and thought about the things he'd done during the war. Later that night, he woke suddenly. Something was wrong. His door was open. He grabbed his gun and stepped out slowly. The hallway was empty, quiet. Then he saw her. Tara. Standing in front of the window, staring at the stars. She didn't move when he approached. "You shouldn't be out," he said. She spoke without turning. "We don't belong anywhere, but for one night, it felt like we did." "You're not safe here," Leon said. "Someone might have seen you." "I know." She turned to him. Her eyes weren't afraid. "I will leave if you ask." "But Lena will die out there, cold, hungry, alone." Leon looked at her. Really looked. Not as an alien, not as a stranger, but as a mother, a person. He lowered the gun. Stay. But outside, something watched from above. A small floating drone. Hidden in the clouds. Recording. Listening. Inside a secret room miles away. A soldier looked at the screen. Unregistered life signs confirmed. He tapped the keyboard. The sound of glass breaking shattered the quiet. Leon jumped up from his chair, his heart racing. He grabbed his gun and rushed into the kitchen. Tara stood frozen, a broken cup at her feet. Lena stood behind her, eyes wide with fear. I'm sorry, Tara said softly. It slipped. Leon didn't lower the gun right away. His breathing was heavy. The air felt tight. He finally exhaled and placed the weapon on the counter. It's just a cup, he muttered, trying to calm himself. But something inside him had shifted. He couldn't explain it. Just a feeling. Something was off. Later. That day, something else went missing. A small tool from his workbench, nothing expensive, but something he knew had been there the night before. He searched the room twice. It was gone. He stood in the doorway of the storage room, staring at Tara. And Lena. Tara was folding sheets. Lena sat quietly in the corner. Leon's voice was low, but sharp. Did you take anything from my tool shed? Tara blinked. No. Think before you answer. I did. And no, we didn't take anything. Lena looked down, silent. Leon stepped closer. Then where is it? Things don't just disappear. Tara didn't speak. Her hands trembled slightly, but her eyes remained steady. You let us stay, she said. But not because you trusted us. Because you pitied us. Leon clenched his jaw. You're guests in my home, Tara nodded. Yes, and guests clean. Cook, obey. But we don't steal. Then explain it. He snapped. Lena stood up suddenly. We didn't take it. Why would we take something from you? You saved us. Her voice cracked. Her eyes were full of tears. I thought you were different. She ran past him, out of the room. Tara followed, silent. Leon was left alone, staring at the spot where his tool once lay. That night, the house felt colder. Lena didn't come out for dinner. Tara stayed in the storage room. Leon sat at the table. A warm plate in front of him, untouched. His eyes kept going to the hallway. He remembered a moment, years ago, his own daughter crying after he accused her of something she didn't do. He was wrong then, too. He stood up, walked to the door, knocked once. Lena? He said softly. Can I come in? There was silence, then. It wasn't us. He opened the door. Lena was lying on the small mattress, facing the wall. Tara sat beside her, brushing her hair. Leon sat on the floor. I'm sorry, he said. Tara didn't answer. Lena turned her head just enough to look at him. I cleaned your house, she whispered. I fixed your old chair. I even sang a song when you were sleeping. Did you hear it? Leon nodded slowly. I did. She turned back to the wall. I won't sing again. And just like that, his heart broke. The next morning, Leon checked the security feed. And that's when he saw it. 2:17 a.m. A blurry figure by the tool shed. Not Tara, not Lena. A stray scavenger human. A thief from the lower levels. Leon's mouth went dry. He had blamed the wrong people. And worse, he had hurt the only two souls who trusted him. He found them outside, near the garden. Tara was trimming the dead branches. Lena was watering plants with a cup. He stepped forward and placed the missing tool on the ground in front of them. I was wrong, he said. I checked the footage. It wasn't you. Tara looked at the tool, then at him. We knew, she said. Leon nodded. I'm sorry. Tara didn't smile. She didn't scold. She simply returned to cutting branches. But Lena walked up to him, eyes tired. Do you still want us to clean? She asked. Leon bent down to her level. I want you to stay. She didn't smile. Not yet, but she placed her small hand in his and that was enough. That night, as they ate together in quiet peace, A silent alarm blinked red in a hidden room far away. Alien presence confirmed. Moving to Phase 2 asterisk, it started with a song, a soft humming in the dark. Leon woke before sunrise. The air still and cold. At first, he thought it was a dream. Then he heard it again, low, gentle, almost like a lullaby. The kind a mother sings when the world outside is falling apart. He followed the sound dot in the kitchen. Tara sat near the window. Lena was asleep. In her lap. Tara's hand slowly moved through the girl's hair as she hummed the melody, eyes lost in the stars above. Leon didn't speak. He just listened. The song ended. Tara looked at him. "You know it, don't you?" She asked quietly. Leon nodded. "My wife used to sing that," he said. "Before Earth burned." Tara gave a sad smile. "It was not born on Earth. That song comes from our world." Leon froze. "What?" "Our planet sang it first," Tara said. "Humans heard it, carried it, changed it." She looked down at Lena. But songs survive even when worlds don't. Later that day, Leon brought out an old photo, his wife, his daughter, a summer day on Earth, smiling faces, sunlight on skin. He handed it to Tara. Tara stared at it for a long time, then said, "I had a family too." She pulled out a tiny folded cloth from her pocket. Inside it, a thin metallic pendant. Not jewelry, a memory chip. "Can I show you?" She asked. Leon hesitated, then nodded. Tara connected the chip to his old console. A small projection lit up the room. Blue skies, tall crystal trees, children running under light that shimmered like gold dust. And then, a man, tall, kind eyes, laughing as he lifted Lena in the air. "That was our home," she whispered. "That was before." Leon watched, silent. Next image cut in fast. Explosions, smoke, ships in the sky. Human ships, screaming. Fire, a city burning. Tara's voice cracked. They came with weapons. Not to talk, not to ask, just to take. My husband tried to protect the village. He didn't have a gun, only words. The image froze. The man was falling. A red beam through his chest. Lena's scream echoed across the room. Leon closed his eyes. He couldn't watch anymore. Outside, the wind picked up. Inside, silence filled the space between them. "I didn't fire the shot," Leon said finally. "But I wore the uniform." Tara didn't blame him. She didn't raise her voice. She just said, "I know." Lena spoke from behind them. "Is that why you let us in?" she asked. "Because you feel sorry?" Leon turned. "No." He knelt beside her. "I let you in because you reminded me what family feels like." That night, no one could sleep. Something in the house had changed. Not in a bad way, but deeper, heavier. Real. Meanwhile, just outside the colony walls, a dark figure moved through the forest. It were no light. It made no sound, but its orders were clear. Confirm target. Monitor human contact. Eliminate if exposed. A single red lens blinked once, then vanished into the trees. Leon dreamed of laughter. Small footsteps ran across a green field. Lena was chasing a butterfly, her voice full of joy. Tara sat under a tree, smiling softly. The wind was warm, peaceful. Then the sky cracked open. He looked up. Black ships poured from the clouds like insects. Sirens screamed. The grass turned to ash. He ran, yelling their names, but they were already gone. Leon woke with a gasp. Sweat soaked his shirt. He sat up. And saw the red blinking light on his wall terminal. Unauthorized. Scan detected. Proximity. Alert. 93 meters. He jumped to his feet and ran. In the storage room. Tara was already awake. She stood by the wall, calm but alert. Lena clung to her arm. Still half asleep. Leon whispered, "We've been found." Tara didn't flinch. "I'll get our things." "No," he said. "There's no time." He threw open the closet and pulled out 2 old cloaks once used for desert patrol. He handed one to each of them. We leave now, through the forest. Lena's voice was small. Are they coming to hurt us? Leon looked her in the eyes. Yes, he said. Unless we run. Outside the sky was turning orange. Morning was breaking. The three of them moved fast, staying low. Behind them, the sound of engines hummed in the air. Drones. Two of them. Floating, silent, scanning the ground. Leon led them. Through the back trail, through thick trees and heavy brush. He knew this path. Used it for patrol drills long ago. Now, it was their only hope. By midday, they reached an old shelter half buried in vines and dirt. A forgotten emergency pod. Leon forced the rusted door open. We rest here, he said. Just for an hour, inside. It was dark and cold. Dust hung in the air. Tara helped Lena sit down. The girl's ankle was swollen. She had twisted it running through the rocks. Leon crouched next to her. Let me see. He touched her foot gently. She winced. Tara leaned forward. Let me try. She placed her hand on Lena's skin, closed her eyes. Her hand began to glow. Soft. Blue, like moonlight under water. Leon watched. Stunned. The swelling faded. Lena exhaled. The pain was gone. You healed her, he whispered. Tara nodded. Not. All of us destroy. Some of us repair. Leon looked at his hands. All they had ever done was break things. Suddenly, a noise outside. Footsteps. Not drones this time. Men. Leon grabbed his rifle and stepped to the door. Tara pulled Lena behind her. Through the cracked window, Leon saw two soldiers. They were scanning the ground, talking. We picked up movement. Heat signatures. Could be rebels, could be strays. Orders are clear, no witnesses. Leon's heart pounded. He turned back to Tara. We can't stay. She nodded. He opened the floor hatch of the shelter. There's a tunnel, he said. Old mining line. It leads to the canyon. We move now. The tunnel was dark, cold. The air smelled of rust and old memories. Lena held Leon's hand tightly. I'm scared, she said. He squeezed gently. So am I. But he didn't stop walking, because now he wasn't just a soldier. He was there. Protector. And he would not lose this family too. Above them, the soldiers reported back. Shelter empty. But someone was here, recently. We follow the tracks. No mercy, right? No mercy. Asterisk blood. Not a lot, but enough to matter. Leon stared at the dark red stain on his sleeve. His own. A scratch from climbing the tunnel wall. It burned, but he didn't care. Behind him, Tara and Lena sat against the cold canyon rocks, breathing hard. Dirt covered their clothes. Lena's face was pale. She hadn't spoken in an hour. They had been running for 2 days. No sleep. Little food. And the soldiers were still chasing them. Leon looked at the horizon. Nothing but dust. No shelter. No allies. And then he heard it. Engines, multiple. He grabbed his rifle and pulled the cloaks over Tara and Lena. Stay low, he whispered. Do not move. Lena tried to speak, but he shook his head. This time, it's me they want. A transport ship landed in the canyon, engines screaming. Dust flew everywhere. Leon stood alone, his arms raised, weapon tossed aside. 6 soldiers marched toward him. Their commander stepped forward, a tall man in silver armor, face sharp. Voice cold. Sergeant Leon Hayes, he said. Disobeyed protocol. Aided enemy targets. You're under arrest. Leon didn't move. I saved lives. He replied. You broke the law, the commander snapped. Where are the aliens? Leon stayed silent. The commander smirked. So, you choose them over your own kind? Leon looked at the canyon behind him. He couldn't see Tara and Lena, but he knew they were there. Watching. Waiting. I choose. What's right? He said. The commander raised a hand. A soldier punched Leon in the stomach. He fell to his knees, gasping. Another kick. Another blow. Still, he didn't speak. Blood dripped from his mouth. But he said nothing. Far behind the rocks, Lena was shaking. "Why don't we help him?" she whispered. Tara held her back. "We will, but not with weapons." She reached into her cloak and pulled out the pendant again. The one with the memory chip. Lena frowned. "That's not a weapon." Tara looked at her. "It's truth." The commander gave the final warning. "Tell us where they are, or we burn this canyon." Leon raised his head, eyes full of fire. "Then burn it." Just as the commander turned to give the signal, a noise, a low hum, a projection lit up the canyon wall. Blue and bright. It was the video. Tara's memory. The human ships. The invasion. Man, her husband, falling. A child screaming. And then, a final message. "We didn't ask for war. We asked for mercy. This is what we got." The soldiers froze. Some lowered their weapons. One whispered, "What is this?" Leon stood slowly, blood on his lips, dust in his lungs. "That," he said, "is what you don't see, what they hide, what they fear." He pointed at the projection. "That's the reason I'm standing here instead of shooting." The silence was deep. Then the commander raised his gun. "Turn it off." No one moved. He aimed at Leon. I said, "Turn." Gun fired. Not his. From behind. The commander fell. One of the soldiers had fired. The others backed away. No orders. No war cries. Just silence. Then one of them said, "Let them go." Another nodded. "We were never supposed to be murderers." Leon blinked. He couldn't believe it. But they were walking away, leaving him, leaving them. That night, Leon lay near the fire, pain wrapping his body like a second skin. Tara placed her hand over his wound. It glowed blue again. This time, he didn't stop her. As the pain faded, he looked at her. "You saved me," he whispered. Tara smiled. "You chose us first." Somewhere far away, on a secure channel, a red alert blinked on a government screen. Mission failed. Civil resistance detected. Internal division confirmed. It was the first quiet morning in weeks. No engines in the sky. No boots in the dirt. No orders. No fear. Just wind brushing through the canyon grass. Leon sat outside the small new shelter, looking at the sunrise. His arm was still bandaged, but healing. His ribs still ached. But inside his chest, something else had changed. Something deeper. For the first time in years. He didn't feel like a soldier. He felt like a man who had something worth protecting. Inside, Lena was painting on the wall with pieces of crushed berries and charcoal. Her drawings were simple. A tree, a sun, a woman with long hands, a man with a beard, a small house with a tiny blue star above it. Tara watched her quietly. She doesn't talk about the war anymore. She told Leon later. She talks about birds and food and stars. Leon smiled. "That's good," he said. "You gave her that." "No," he replied. "You did." Tara looked at him. "You stayed. When others ran, you chose us." Leon looked back toward the horizon. "No," he whispered. "I chose myself, the person I forgot I was." Later that day, a message came through on a broken comms device. Leon had almost thrown away. It was short. Just 3 words. "They're coming back." Leon didn't panic. He walked to Tara and showed her the screen. "I won't let them take you." Tara didn't flinch. "They don't have to." Leon blinked. "What do you mean?" She turned to her bag and pulled out the memory chip again. "I sent it to more than just the canyon soldiers," she said. "I sent it everywhere. Public channels, civilian networks, encrypted cores. If they try to hide us again, the truth will burn brighter." Leon looked at her and realized she hadn't just been running. She had been fighting, in her own way. And now the world would know, not just about the war. But about the family he had found in the ashes of it. That evening, neighbors began arriving, one By one, a mechanic with oil-stained hands, a farmer with a tired voice, a nurse from the edge of the colony. They didn't bring weapons. They brought food, tools, blankets. They had seen the video, and they chose mercy over fear. Lena stood at the doorway, watching them come. She didn't hide. She waved. One of the humans waved back, and the wall between them cracked. Just a little. Night fell. Inside, the small fire glowed. Tara placed food on the table. Warm bread, cooked roots, herbs from the canyon. Lena sat beside her. Leon across. A quiet moment. A real family. Leon looked around the room and smiled. You know, he said, this place used to feel cold, empty. And now? Tara asked. Now? He said, it feels like home. Lena looked up. Can we stay forever? Leon didn't answer with words. He simply reached across the table and held her hand. Outside, in the sky, the stars returned, no longer as hunters, but as witnesses, watching the new world being born, not through war, but through choice. Human chose hope, an alien chose trust, and together they built a new beginning. Together they made home.